Chosen One, if you're watching this video right now, it's no accident. God himself has guided you here to this very moment because something extraordinary is stirring within you. You are not here by chance. You are here because the creator of the universe has a divine message meant for you. A message so powerful, so life-changing, that it will awaken the deepest parts of your soul. You're about to discover what matters most, the truth that will shift your entire existence, align your spirit with God's purpose, and set you on a path of unshakable destiny. This is not just another video. This is a divine appointment. You are one of God's chosen ones, and what you're about to hear will light a fire within you that cannot be extinguished. Don't ignore this. Your life is about to transform in ways you never thought possible. Before we dive into this sacred revelation, I need you to do 3 things to align yourself with the divine energy of this moment. Pause this video, hit that like button to amplify the spiritual frequency, subscribe to join thousands of other chosen ones walking this path of divine awakening, and leave a comment with the number 777 below. That number, 777, is a holy signal to the universe, a declaration that you are ready to receive the blessings God has prepared for you. If you're truly a chosen one, you'll stay with me until the very end, because deep in your spirit, you already know this message is meant for you. Let's step into this divine truth together. Chosen one, you've been searching. You've been wandering through the noise of this world, through the chaos of expectations, distractions, and doubts, trying to find what truly matters. Maybe you've chased success, wealth, or recognition, thinking those things would fill the void in your heart. Maybe you've poured your energy into relationships, careers, or dreams that left you feeling empty, unfulfilled, or unseen. But here's the truth God wants you to hear today. You've been missing what matters most. You've been looking outward when the answers have always been within you. You are a divine vessel, created with a purpose so profound that the world cannot contain it. God has placed a spark of his eternal light in your soul, and it's time to stop ignoring it. It's time to embrace the truth of who you are. This is not about chasing fleeting pleasures or temporary victories. This is about stepping into the eternal calling God has written into your very being. You are not ordinary. You are not meant to blend into the shadows of this world. You are a chosen one, handpicked by God to carry his light, to walk in his truth, and to live a life that radiates his glory. The things you've been chasing, money, status, approval, pale in comparison to the divine purpose that awaits you. What matters most is not what the world offers, but what God has already placed inside you. It's time to stop looking for validation outside yourself and start embracing the divine power within. Let me ask you this, chosen one. Have you ever felt a stirring in your soul, a whisper that there's something greater waiting for you? That's not just your imagination. That's God speaking to you, calling you to rise above the distractions and step into your divine destiny. The world will try to pull you in 1,000 directions, tempting you with illusions of success. But God's plan for you is far greater than anything this world can offer. He is calling you to focus on what truly matters, your connection to him, your purpose, and the eternal impact you were created to make. When you align with his will, everything else falls into place. Your finances, your relationships, your health, they all begin to reflect the divine order God has designed for your life. Think about the story of Moses, a man who thought he was unworthy, a man who doubted his own strength. Yet God chose him to lead a nation out of bondage. When Moses stopped focusing on his limitations and started trusting in God's plan, he became a vessel for miracles. The Red Sea parted, a nation was freed, and God's glory was revealed through him. You are no different, chosen one. God has chosen you, not because of your past, your mistakes, or your doubts, but because of the divine potential he placed within you. What matters most is not where you've been, but where God is taking you. Stop ignoring the call. Step into the purpose he has ordained for you. Now, let's talk about the distractions that have been holding you back. The world is loud, chosen one. It bombards you with messages that tell you to chase wealth, to seek fame, to measure your worth by what you own or how others see you. But those things are fleeting. They are shadows that fade in the light of God's eternal truth. The enemy wants you to believe that what matters most is what you can see, touch, or possess, but God says otherwise. In Matthew 6:33, he tells us, "Seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well." When you focus on what matters most, your relationship with God, your divine calling, your eternal purpose, everything else aligns. Your life becomes a testament to his power, a living proof that his promises are true. The world may tell you that success is measured by your bank account, but God measures success by your obedience, your faith, and your willingness to walk in his truth. You are not here to accumulate wealth for wealth's sake. You are here to build a legacy of faith, to shine as a beacon of God's love, and to transform the world around you. When you embrace this truth, you'll find that the things you once thought were important begin to lose their grip on you. The stress, the worry, the fear, they all fade away in the presence of God's divine plan. You were created for more than temporary pleasures. You were created for eternal impact. Chosen one, I know it's not always easy. The path to discovering what matters most is filled with challenges, doubts, and moments of uncertainty, but those challenges are not here to break you. They are here to refine you. Just as gold is purified in the fire, your trials are shaping you into the person God created you to be. Look at Joseph, sold into slavery, imprisoned and forgotten by those he helped. Yet through every trial, God was preparing him for greatness. Joseph didn't focus on the pain of his circumstances. He focused on the promise of God's purpose. God's purpose. And in time, God elevated him to a position of power, using him to save nations. Your trials are not the end of your story. They are the beginning of your testimony. What matters most is not the obstacles in your path, but the God who walks with you through them. Every setback, every disappointment, every moment of doubt is an opportunity for God to show his power in your life. When you feel like giving up, when the world tells you that you are not enough, remember this: you are a chosen one. God has placed his hand on your life, and no force in heaven or earth can stop what he has started. Your struggles are not a sign of failure. They are a sign that God is preparing you for something greater. Trust him. Lean into his promises. What matters most is not what you've lost, but what God is about to restore. Let's talk about the divine transformation that's coming your way, chosen one. When you focus on what matters most, your connection to God, your purpose, your eternal calling, something miraculous happens. Your life begins to shift. The things that once weighed you down begin to lift. Your heart, once heavy with worry, begins to overflow with peace. Your mind, once clouded by doubt, becomes clear with divine vision. This is not just a change in mindset. This is a divine awakening. God is renewing you from the inside out, transforming every part of your being to reflect His glory. You may not see it yet, but the changes are already happening. People around you are starting to notice. They see a light in your eyes, a strength in your spirit, a joy that defies explanation. This is the power of focusing on what matters most. When you align with God's will, you become a magnet for His blessings. Your finances begin to flow, not because you chased money, but because you chased God's purpose. Your relationships begin to heal, not because you forced them, but because you trusted God's timing. Your health begins to improve, not because you found a quick fix, but because God's divine energy is renewing your body, mind, and soul. Chosen one, let me remind you of a powerful truth from John 15:16. You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you so that you might go and bear fruit, fruit that will last. You were chosen by God for a purpose that goes beyond this world. You were chosen to bear fruit that will stand the test of time, to leave a legacy that echoes into eternity. What matters most is not the temporary things you can gain, but the eternal impact you were created to make. When you embrace this truth, you step into a life not what you've done, not because you found a quick fix, but because God's divine energy is renewing your body, mind, and soul. Chosen one, let me remind you of a powerful truth from John 15:16. You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you so that you might go and bear fruit, fruit that will last. You were chosen by God for a purpose that goes beyond this world. You were chosen to bear fruit that will stand the test of time, to leave a legacy that echoes into eternity. What matters most is not the temporary things you can gain, but the eternal impact you were created to make. When you embrace this truth, you step into a life of divine abundance, a life where every moment is filled with purpose, every step is guided by God, and every dream is within reach. Now let's talk about the enemy for a moment. The devil doesn't want you to focus on what matters most. He wants you distracted, chasing things that don't last, doubting your worth, questioning God's plan. But here's the truth. The enemy has no power over you. You are a chosen one, sealed by God's protection, covered by His grace. When you stand firm in your divine calling, no weapon formed against you can prosper. Isaiah 54:17 declares, no weapon forged against you will prevail, and you will refute every tongue that accuses you. The devil may try to distract you, but he cannot stop you. Your light is too bright, your purpose too strong, your God too powerful. Have you ever noticed how the enemy's tactics always seem to fall apart in your presence? That's because you carry a divine authority that he cannot touch. Think of Daniel in the lion's den. The world expected him to be devoured, but God shut the mouths of the lions. Daniel didn't focus on the danger around him, he focused on the God above him. And because of that, he walked out unharmed, a living testament to God's power. You are Daniel in this moment, chosen one. The world may throw challenges at you, but when you keep your eyes on what matters most, God will deliver you every time. Let me ask you this. What's been distracting you from your divine purpose? Is it fear? Is it doubt? Is it the opinions of others? Whatever it is, it's time to let it go. God is calling you to release the things that no longer serve you, to let go of the burdens that weigh you down, and to step boldly into the life He has prepared for you. The things that matter most are not found in the noise of this world. They are found in the stillness of God's presence. When you quiet your heart and listen to His voice, you'll hear the truth. You are enough, you are chosen, you are destined for greatness. Chosen one, I want you to pause for a moment and feel the weight of this truth. You are not defined by your past mistakes, your current struggles, or the world's expectations. You are defined by God's purpose for your life. He has called you by name, set you apart, and filled you with His divine light. What matters most is not what you've done, but who you are becoming in Him. Every step you take in faith, every moment you choose to trust Him brings you closer to the fullness of His plan. You are on the verge of a breakthrough, a transformation so profound that it will leave others in awe. Let's talk about the divine glow that's coming your way. When you focus on what matters most, something supernatural happens. Your spirit begins to radiate with God's light, and that light spills over into every area of your life. People will notice a change in you, a glow in your eyes, a peace in your demeanor, a strength that defies explanation. This is not just about looking good, it's about shining with the divine beauty that comes from walking in God's purpose. Your presence will become a testimony, a living proof that God is at work in your life. Think about Esther, a young woman who could have stayed silent, who could have ignored her calling, but she chose to focus on what mattered most, God's plan for her people. Because of her courage, an entire nation was saved. You are Esther in this moment, chosen one. God has placed you in a specific time and place for a reason. Your life is not random. It is divinely orchestrated. When you embrace what matters most, you step into a role that changes not just your life, but the lives of those around you. Now, I want you to do something powerful. Pause this video, hit that like button to send this divine energy into the universe, subscribe to join thousands of other chosen ones on this journey, and leave a comment with the number 777 to declare that you are ready for what God has in store. That number, 777, is a sacred sign of alignment, a signal that you are stepping into God's perfect plan. Don't ignore this moment, chosen one. This is your time to rise, to shine, to focus on what matters most. The world will try to pull you back, chosen one. It will tempt you with distractions, with doubts, with fears. But you are stronger than that. You are a divine warrior, armed with God's truth, shielded by His grace, and guided by His Spirit. When you focus on what matters most, you become unstoppable. The enemy may try to shake you, but he cannot break you. The world may try to dim your light, but it cannot extinguish it. You are a chosen one, and God's purpose for your life is greater than any obstacle in your path. Let me remind you of a powerful truth from Romans 8:28. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. You are called, chosen one. Every trial, every challenge, every moment of doubt is being woven into a tapestry of divine victory. What matters most is not the struggles you face, but the God who is working through them. Trust Him. Lean into His promises.
An IQ of 85 to 115 is considered average in the US. An IQ of 115 to 145 is considered high, and an IQ above 145 is
through them. Trust Him. Lean into His promises. Your breakthrough is not just coming, it's already here. Chosen one, it's time to let go of the things that no longer serve you. Let go of the doubts that tell you you're not enough. Let go of the fears that keep you from stepping into your destiny. Let go of the distractions that pull you away from God's plan. What matters most is your connection to Him, your faith in His promises, and your willingness to walk boldly in the purpose He has set before you. When you release the old, you make room for the new. New blessings, new opportunities, new victories. Imagine this, chosen one. A life where every step is guided by God, where every decision is rooted in His truth, where every moment is filled with His peace. That's what happens when you focus on what matters most. Your life becomes a reflection of His glory, a testament to His power, a beacon of His love. People will look at you and wonder, what's different about them? They'll see the glow, the confidence, the joy that comes from walking in God's purpose, and they'll be drawn to the light within you, not because of what you do, but because of who you are in Him. Let's talk about the divine opportunities that are coming your way. When you focus on what matters most, God begins to open doors that no one can shut. Revelation 3:8 says, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. These are not just any doors, they are divine opportunities, moments where God aligns people, resources, and circumstances to fulfill His plan for your life. You may not see them yet, but they are there, waiting for you to step through in faith. Think about David, a shepherd boy who seemed insignificant in the eyes of the world. But when he focused on what mattered most, his faith in God, he defeated giants, became a king, and left a legacy that still inspires us today. You are David, chosen one. The giants in your life, fear, doubt, financial struggles, broken relationships, are no match for the God who fights for you. When you keep your eyes on what matters most, God will lead you to victories you never thought possible. Chosen one, I want you to feel the power of this moment. You are standing at a crossroads, a divine turning point in your life. The old you, the one who doubted, who struggled, who felt unworthy, is fading away. In its place, God is raising up a new you, a chosen one who walks in confidence, radiates His light, and fulfills His purpose. What matters most is not what you've lost or what you lack. It's who you are becoming in Him. Embrace this transformation. Step into this new season with boldness and faith. The world may try to define you by your past, but God defines you by your future. He sees the masterpiece He created you to be. He sees the impact you will make, the lives you will touch, the legacy you will leave. What matters most is not the opinions of others, but the truth of who God says you are. You are chosen, you are loved, you are destined for greatness. Let that truth sink deep into your soul, chosen one. Let it guide every decision, every step, every dream. Now, let's talk about the divine strength that's rising within you. When you focus on what matters most, you tap into a power that goes beyond human understanding. This is not just physical strength or mental resilience. This is the strength of the Holy Spirit, the same Spirit that raised Jesus from the dead. Romans 8:11 tells us, the Spirit of Him who raised Jesus from the dead is living in you. That's the power you carry, chosen one. That's the strength that makes you unstoppable. Look at Paul and Silas, imprisoned and bound. Yet they didn't focus on their chains. They focused on what mattered most, praising God in the midst of their trial. And what happened? The prison doors flew open, their chains fell off, and God's power was revealed. You are Paul and Silas in this moment, chosen one. Your circumstances may look like chains, but when you focus on God's truth, those chains will break, and doors will open. Don't ignore this. Your breakthrough is closer than you think. Chosen one, it's time to stop doubting and start believing. The enemy wants you to focus on what you lack, but God wants you to focus on what you have. His promises, His power, His purpose. When you shift your perspective, you shift your reality. The things that once seemed impossible become possible. The dreams that once felt out of reach become your reality. What matters most is not what you see with your eyes, but what you see with your faith. Trust God's plan. Trust His timing. Trust His power. Let me ask you this. What would your life look like if you truly believed you were chosen? If you stopped chasing the world's approval and started living for God's purpose? If you let go of every distraction and focused on what matters most? I'll tell you what would happen. Your life would become a masterpiece, a living testimony to God's grace, a beacon of His light in a dark world. You would walk with a confidence that cannot be shaken, a peace that cannot be stolen, a joy that cannot be dimmed. Chosen one, you are not here to live an ordinary life. You are here to shine, to rise, to transform the world around you. God has placed a divine calling on your life, a purpose that goes beyond anything you can imagine. What matters most is not the temporary pleasures of this world, but the eternal impact you were created to make. When you embrace this truth, everything changes. Your perspective shifts, your heart aligns, and your life becomes a reflection of God's glory. Let's talk about the divine peace that's waiting for you. When you focus on what matters most, you step into a peace that surpasses understanding. Philippians 4:7 promises, the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. This is not a peace that comes from having everything figured out. It's a peace that comes from trusting the one who holds your future. When you let go of the need to control, when you surrender your worries to God, you find a rest that the world cannot give. Think about Jesus in the storm. While the disciples panicked, He slept peacefully in the boat. Why? Because He knew what mattered most. His Father was in control. You are in that boat right now, chosen one. The storms of life may rage around you, but
I have hundreds of case studies like these proving that anyone can easily go viral.
The storms of life may rage around you, but when you focus on God's truth, you find peace in the midst of chaos. You become unshakable, unstoppable, unbreakable. That's the power of focusing on what matters most. Chosen one, I want you to take a moment to breathe this in. You are not alone, you are not forgotten, you are not insignificant. You are a chosen one, handpicked by God to carry His light, to fulfill His purpose, to live a life that glorifies Him. What matters most is not what the world says about you, but what God says about you. And He says, you are loved, you are chosen, you are destined for greatness. Yet don't ignore this truth. Embrace it, live it. Let it transform every part of your life. Now, let's talk about the divine abundance that's coming your way. When you focus on what matters most, God doesn't just meet your needs, He exceeds them. Ephesians 3:20 says, now to Him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to His power that is at work within us. That's the kind of God you serve, chosen one. A God who doesn't just provide, but overflows. Your life is about to become a testament to His abundance, a living proof that His promises are true. Look at Abraham, a man who left everything he knew to follow God's call. He didn't focus on what he was leaving behind, he focused on what God promised ahead, and because of that he became the father of nations, blessed beyond measure. You are Abraham in this moment, chosen one. God is calling you to leave behind the distractions, the doubts, the fears, and to step into the abundance He has prepared for you. What matters most is not what you're letting go of, but what God is leading you toward. Chosen one, it's time to stop playing small. The world may tell you to settle, to accept less, to dim your light. But God is calling you to rise, to shine, to embrace the fullness of his plan. You were created for greatness, not mediocrity. You were chosen for impact, not insignificance. What matters most is not the limitations of this world, but the limitless power of the God who created you. Step into that power. Step into that purpose. Step into the life you were destined to live. Let me remind you of a truth from Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. That's God's promise to you, chosen one. His plans for you are good, his purpose for you is great, his love for you is unending. When you focus on what matters most, you align with those plans, and nothing can stop you from stepping into the future God has prepared. Chosen one, I know this journey isn't always easy. There are moments when the world feels heavy, when doubts creep in, when the enemy whispers lies. But you are stronger than you know. You carry the Spirit of God within you, a power that no darkness can overcome. When you focus on what matters most, you tap into that power, and it transforms everything. Your struggles become stepping stones, your doubts become declarations, your fears become faith. You are a chosen one, and God's strength is made perfect in your weakness. Think about the woman at the well, a woman who carried shame and rejection wherever she went. But when she encountered Jesus, everything changed. He didn't focus on her past, he focused on her future. He saw her not as the world saw her, but as God created her to be. And in that moment, she was transformed, becoming a vessel for God's truth. You are that woman, chosen one. God sees you not for who you were, but for who you are becoming. What matters most is not your past, but the divine future he has planned for you. Chosen one, it's time to let go of the lies that have held you back. The lie that you're not enough. The lie that your dreams are too big. The lie that your past defines you. Those lies are not from God. They are from the enemy, and they have no power over you. When you focus on what matters most, you see the truth. You are chosen. You are loved. You are destined for greatness. Let that truth sink into your soul. Let it guide your steps. Let it light your path. Now let's talk about the divine vision that's being awakened in you. When you focus on what matters most, God begins to open your eyes to see what others cannot. You begin to see opportunities where others see obstacles. You begin to see purpose where others see pain. You begin to see God's hand in every moment, guiding you, shaping you, leading you to your destiny. This is not just about physical sight. This is about divine vision, the ability to see with the eyes of faith. Look at Noah, a man who built an ark when the world laughed at him. He didn't focus on the mockery of others. He focused on God's instructions, and because of that he saved his family and became a cornerstone of God's plan. You are Noah, chosen one. God is giving you a vision, a calling, a purpose that the world may not understand. But when you trust him, when you focus on what matters most, that vision will lead you to miracles you never thought possible. Chosen one, I want you to pause for a moment and claim this truth. You are not here by accident. You are not watching this video by chance. God has brought you here to remind you of what matters most. Your divine calling, your eternal purpose, your unshakable connection to him. Don't ignore this moment. Hit that like button to send this divine energy into the universe. Subscribe to join thousands of other chosen ones walking this path. And leave a comment with the number 777 to declare that you are ready for God's transformation. This is your time, chosen one. This is your moment. The world may try to tell you that you're just another face in the crowd, but God says otherwise. You are a chosen one, a divine masterpiece, a vessel of his light. What matters most is not what the world thinks of you, but what God knows about you. He knows your heart, your dreams, your potential. He knows the plans he has for you, and they are plans for good, not for harm. Plans to give you a hope and a future. When you focus on that truth, everything changes. Let's talk about the divine confidence that's rising within you. When you focus on what matters most, you begin to walk with a boldness that cannot be shaken. This is not the confidence of the world, rooted in pride or self-reliance. This is the confidence of a chosen one, rooted in the truth of who God says you are. You are his child, his masterpiece, his warrior. When you embrace this truth, you begin to carry yourself differently. Your steps are sure, your heart is steady, your spirit is strong. Think about Joshua standing before the walls of Jericho. The world saw an impossible obstacle, but Joshua saw God's promise. He didn't focus on the size of the walls, he focused on the size of his God. And because of that, those walls came crashing down. You are Joshua, chosen one.
What if you could earn commissions simply by offering 0% interest funding to business owners? I'm Leo Canel.
Down. You are Joshua, chosen one. The walls in your life, fear, doubt, financial struggles, broken dreams, are no match for the God who fights for you. When you focus on what matters most, those walls will fall, and you will step into the promised land God has prepared for you. Chosen one, it's time to stop running from your calling. It's time to stop hiding from your purpose. It's time to stop ignoring what matters most. God has placed a divine fire in your soul, a light that cannot be dimmed, a purpose that cannot be denied. When you embrace that truth, you become unstoppable. The world may try to hold you back, but God is propelling you forward. The enemy may try to distract you, but God is guiding your step. What matters most is not the noise around you, but the voice within you, the voice of God, calling you to rise. Let me remind you of a powerful truth from Psalm 139:14. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. You are fearfully and wonderfully made, chosen one. God didn't create you to blend in. He created you to stand out. He didn't create you to settle. He created you to soar. What matters most is not what you've been told you can't do, but what God says you can do. And he says you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Chosen one, I want you to feel the weight of this moment. You are standing on the edge of a divine breakthrough, a moment where everything changes. The old you is fading away, and the new you, the chosen one, the vessel of God's light, the warrior of his purpose, is rising. Don't ignore this. Don't let this moment pass you by. God is calling you to focus on what matters most, to align with his will, to step into his plan. Your life is about to become a testament to his power, a reflection of his glory, a beacon of his love. Let's talk about the divine legacy you're creating. When you focus on what matters most, you're not just living for today, you're building something that will last for generations. Your life is not just about you, it's about the impact you will leave on the world. God has chosen you to be a light, not just for yourself, but for those who come after you. Your faith, your courage, your obedience, they are planting seeds that will bear fruit long after you're gone. Think about Abraham's legacy. His faith didn't just change his life, it changed the course of history. He became the father of nations because he trusted God's promise. You are creating a legacy like that, chosen one. Every step you take in faith, every moment you choose to focus on what matters most, is planting a seed for future generations. Your children, your family, your community. They will be blessed because of your obedience. What matters most is not the temporary things you gain, but the eternal impact you leave. Chosen one, it's time to stop doubting your worth. The enemy wants you to believe you're not enough, but God says you are more than enough. You are his masterpiece, his chosen vessel, his beloved child. When you focus on what matters most, you begin to see yourself the way God sees you, worthy, capable, destined for greatness. Let go of the lies that have held you back. Let go of the fears that have kept you small. Step into the fullness of who God created you to be. Let's talk about the divine favor that's resting on you. When you focus on what matters most, God's favor begins to surround you like a shield. Psalm 5:12 says, "Surely, Lord, you bless the righteous. You surround them with your favor as with a shield." This favor opens doors no one can shut, brings opportunities no one can take away, and protects you from every attack of the enemy. You are walking in divine favor, chosen one, and nothing can stop what God has started in your life. Look at Ruth, a woman who lost everything but refused to give up. She didn't focus on her loss, she focused on her faith, and because of that, God placed her in the lineage of Jesus, blessing her beyond her wildest dreams. You are Ruth, chosen one. Your losses are not the end of your story, they are the beginning of God's redemption. When you focus on what matters most, God turns your mourning into dancing, your sorrow into joy, your lack into abundance. And one, I want you to pause and claim this moment. Hit that like button to amplify this divine energy. Subscribe to join thousands of other chosen ones walking this path, and leave a comment with the number 777 to declare that you are ready for God's favor. This is not just a video, it's a divine encounter, a moment where God is speaking directly to your heart. Don't ignore this. Your breakthrough is here. Your transformation is now. Your destiny is calling. Let's talk about the divine timing of this moment. God's timing is perfect, chosen one. You may feel like you've been waiting too long, like your breakthrough is delayed, like your dreams are out of reach, but let me tell you this. God is never late. He is always on time. Ecclesiastes 3:11 says, "He has made everything beautiful in its time." Your life is unfolding exactly as God planned, and when you focus on what matters most, you step into his perfect timing. Think about Sarah, who waited decades for the promise of a child. The world told her it was impossible, but she focused on God's promise, and in his perfect timing, Isaac was born, fulfilling God's plan. You are Sarah, chosen one. Your waiting is not in vain, it's preparation for the promise. When you focus on what matters most, God's timing aligns with your faith, and the impossible becomes reality. Chosen one, it's time to stop looking at the clock and start looking to the cross. God's promises are not bound by time, they are bound by his faithfulness. When you focus on what matters most, you trust that every delay is a divine setup. Every waiting season is a preparation for glory. Your breakthrough is not just coming, it's already unfolding. Step into it with faith, with courage, with expectation. Let's talk about the divine protection that surrounds you. When you focus on what matters most, you are covered by God's hand. Psalm 91:4 says, "He will cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you will find refuge." No matter what the enemy throws at you, no matter what the world tries to take from you, God's protection is your shield. You are untouchable, chosen one, because you are his. Look at Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego thrown into the fiery furnace for their faith. They didn't focus on the flames, they focused on their God. And because of that, they walked out without even the smell of smoke. You are Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, chosen one. The fires of life may rage, but when you focus on what matters most, God walks with you through them, and you come out stronger, brighter, victorious. Chosen one, I want you to feel the power of this truth. You are not defined by your circumstances, you are defined by your God. You are not limited by what you see, you are empowered by what God says. What matters most is not the challenges you face, but the God who fights for you. When you focus on him, when you trust his plan, when you embrace his purpose, you become a force that nothing can stop. Let's talk about the divine joy that's rising within you. When you focus on what matters most, you tap into a joy that the world cannot give or take away. Nehemiah 8:10 says, "The joy of the Lord is your strength." This joy is not based on your circumstances, it's based on your connection to God. It's a joy that bubbles up in the midst of trials, a joy that shines through the darkest nights, a joy that makes you unshakable. Think about Paul, imprisoned and persecuted, yet he wrote, "Rejoice in the Lord always. I will say it again, rejoice." Philippians 4:4. He didn't focus on his chains, he focused on his Savior. And because of that, his joy became a testimony that inspired generations. You are Paul, chosen one. Your joy is not dependent on what's happening around you. It's rooted in the God who lives within you. When you focus on what matters most, that joy becomes your strength, your shield, your song. Chosen one. It's time to stop letting the world steal your joy. The enemy wants you to focus on what's wrong, but God wants you to focus on what's right. His love, his promises, his purpose.
9 tablets of 100 milligram generic Viagra for $7 from Friday Plans. I thought it was
his purpose. When you shift your focus, you shift your reality. Your heart begins to sing, your spirit begins to soar, your life begins to shine. What matters most is not the temporary troubles of this world, but the eternal joy of your God. Let's talk about the divine purpose that's calling you. You were not created to drift through life, chosen one. You were created to make a difference, to leave a mark, to change the world. God has placed a unique calling on your life, a purpose that only you can fulfill. When you focus on what matters most, you begin to see that purpose clearly. You begin to understand why you're here, what you're meant to do, and how God is going to use you. Look at Jonah, a man who ran from his calling. But God didn't let him go. He pursued him, redirected him, and used him to save a city. You are Jonah, chosen one. You may have run from your purpose, you may have doubted your calling, but God is calling you back. He's redirecting your steps, realigning your heart, and preparing you for the impact you were created to make. What matters most is not where you've been, but where God is leading you. Chosen one, I want you to pause and claim this truth. Hit that like button to send this divine energy into the universe. Subscribe to join thousands of other chosen ones on this journey, and leave a comment with the number 777 to declare that you are ready for God's purpose. This is not just a moment, it's a movement, a divine shift that's changing everything. Don't ignore this. Your purpose is calling, your destiny is waiting, your God is leading. Let's talk about the divine transformation that's unfolding in your life. When you focus on what matters most, God begins to reshape every part of your being. Your mind is renewed, your heart is restored, your spirit is reignited. This is not just a superficial change, this is a divine metamorphosis, a transformation that makes you a living testimony to God's power. People will look at you and wonder, what happened? What's different? And the answer will be clear. God happened. Think about the caterpillar locked in its cocoon, undergoing a transformation that no one can see. The world may not understand what's happening, but when that caterpillar emerges as a butterfly, everyone sees the beauty. You are that butterfly chosen one. God is working in you, even when you can't see it, even when the world doesn't understand. When you focus on what matters most, you emerge from your cocoon, radiant, powerful, and chosen one. It's time to stop hiding. The world needs your light. The world needs your purpose. The world needs the chosen one that God created you to be. When you focus on what matters most, you step into a life of divine impact. A life where every moment is filled with meaning, every step is guided by faith, and every dream is powered by God's promise. Don't ignore this. Your transformation is not just for you, it's for the world. Let's talk about the divine connections that are coming your way. When you focus on what matters most, God begins to bring the right people into your life. People who will support you, uplift you, and walk with you in your purpose. These are not random encounters. These are divine appointments, orchestrated by God to help you fulfill His plan. Your relationships will begin to align with His will, your community will reflect His love, and your life will become a network of divine connection. Look at David and Jonathan, whose friendship was a divine gift. They didn't focus on rivalry or competition. They focused on their shared faith in God. And because of that, their bond became a source of strength and encouragement. You are David and Jonathan, chosen one. God is bringing people into your life who will see your purpose, honor your calling, and walk with you through every season. When you focus on what matters most, your relationships become a reflection of God's love. Chosen one, it's time to let go of toxic connections. Let go of the people who dim your light, who doubt your purpose, who drain your spirit. God is clearing the way for divine relationships, for connections that will elevate you, inspire you, and align with His plan for your life. What matters most is not the quantity of your relationships, but the quality of the connections God is building. Trust Him. He's preparing a table for you in the presence of your enemies. Let's talk about the divine wisdom that's being poured into you. When you focus on what matters most, God opens your mind to understand things others cannot. Proverbs 2:6 says, "For the Lord gives wisdom. From His mouth come knowledge and understanding." This is not just worldly knowledge, this is divine wisdom, the kind that guides your decisions, clarifies your path, and protects you from the enemy's schemes. You are becoming a vessel of God's wisdom, chosen one, and it will set you apart. Think about Solomon, who asked God for wisdom above all else. Because he focused on what mattered most, God not only gave him wisdom but also wealth, honor, and peace. You are Solomon, chosen one. When you seek God's wisdom, when you focus on His truth, He blesses you beyond measure. Your decisions become divine, your path becomes clear, and your life becomes a testimony to His guidance. What matters most is not what you know, but who you know. God Himself. Chosen one, I want you to feel the power of this moment. You are not just another person in the crowd. You are a chosen one, a divine vessel, a warrior of light. God is pouring His wisdom into you, His favor over you, His purpose through you. Don't ignore this. Your life is about to become a masterpiece, a living proof of God's power, a beacon of His love. Hit that like button to amplify this divine energy. Subscribe to join thousands of other chosen ones, and leave a comment with the number 777 to declare that you are ready for God's wisdom. Let's talk about the divine restoration that's coming your way. When you focus on what matters most, God begins to restore everything the enemy has stolen. Joel 2:25 promises, "I will repay you for the years the locusts have eaten." Every loss, every heartbreak, every setback, God is turning it into a testimony. Your life is not defined by what you've lost. It's defined by what God is restoring. You are stepping into a season of divine restoration, chosen one, where everything aligns with His purpose.